Today we have in our theater our juniors and our seniors. This is a special time because this is election day, and even though some of you thought it was in November, it's really today. So we're going to get started here in just a second. I just want to say a few things before we pray. The students that you see up here, the peers that you have, and again, our juniors and seniors are in the theater with us, 7 through 10. They're live streaming, so we'd like to welcome you too. And everyone that's on this platform has prepared for this day. They've written their speeches. They shared with us why they want to be members and what they bring to the table to be members of the Student Government Association. And when we reinstituted student government a few years ago, we decided what we were going to do is really make sure that there's teeth in it. So everyone, and everyone in here got an invite to become part of everyone that you see here. But we did caution you, all right? If you want to do it just to pad your resume, this is the wrong place to do it. It's too much work. They go to work, they work hard, they're trying to achieve objectives for the school and most importantly for their fellow students. So they're ready to go, and I'm going to be introducing them as they get ready to come up. So without further ado, let's pray, and we're going to get going. So Lord, we just thank you that you give us a school where we can have 11 students up here that understand their direction in life, what they want to share, and most importantly, that they share the message that you have in their heart, and that you give us a school where we can stand up and make a difference as Christians. So calm all of their nerves. I just thank you for Mr. Hammond making arrangement for all of us to be able to tune in even though we're not in this room. What a blessing that is. And bless you, Lord, for all that you provide. In your son's name, amen. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started, and the students will come up one by one. And Grayson, you're going to lead off. And when you're finished, I will introduce our next guest. So Grayson, you're up.
All right, good morning, everyone. So I, if you don't know me, which most of you should, I spoke in chapel last week, but so I'm Grayson, and I'm going to be running for student body chaplain for the males, and I am truly honored to be the only candidate. This will be my third year in this role, and I look forward to changing things for the better. I kind of look around and I think a lot of you guys probably wonder what I've done. And honestly, over the last 2 years, it hasn't been much. And so I really want to just make a lot of change this year. I look forward to a brighter future than we've had in the past. And I've been in communication with Mr. Mowry a lot. And the biggest thing that I want to accomplish is I want more student-led events, more student-led chapels. I think that the best thing is when we hear from each other. I think it's really encouraging when we can see each other's faith lived out in real life. And so that's going to be one of my biggest things that I want to do this year. And whether that looks like even just small Bible studies or devotionals that we can get people to come to outside of chapel time or during chapel time, if we can have some people share. I think it's just so important for students to hear from other students and their stories. So I aspire to meet the spiritual needs of all of you guys. I want to accomplish this by making you guys just feel comfortable to talk to me. Seriously. Don't be embarrassed to come talk. I always have an open ear if you're struggling, or if you just want to tell me something cool that's going on in your life that God has just brought you through, or that He's continually bringing you through. I think it's one of the most important things also is that we need to be prepared to defend our faith. And so I pray that this year that's something that we get better at, that we just strive to together. And so I just pray for this school that it'll be a safe haven for us and for us to feel comfortable enough to share what's going on in our lives. And so thank you to Mr. Wilson and Coach Gregory for all they do with the student government. And so thanks, guys.
Thank you, Grayson. Since you're running unopposed, I'll make a comment because I do like to semi-remain neutral. But Grayson, you always live what you say, and I think that's really important. So all of us appreciate that. Now what we're going to do, we have 3 candidates for ladies chaplain, and Katie Gilmore is going to lead off. So Katie, it's all yours.
Hi guys. I'm Katie Gilmore. Although some of you probably do know me, I know that a lot of you probably don't, probably the ones just watching like from their rooms. But I hope that will change this year and I'll be able to establish a face-to-face connection with you. If you do know me or you have seen me, you probably have seen me running around with a camera at different events, playing on the court or swimming in the pool. Sometimes it feels like I'm everywhere at once. But because of this, not being everywhere at once, but being involved in a lot of things, I believe that I can effectively represent all the members of the student body as your female chaplain. I completely understand the responsibility of having to balance all of your work, school, athletics, theater, and any other extracurriculars, all while trying to have a resemblance to some of your social life. I value each and every one of these things because I think they're all equally important to having a full life. Running to be an officer, more specifically your chaplain, I am putting myself in the running for a leadership position. However, I believe to be effective in this position, I must be a good leader. To me, a leader is real, visionary, an active member in your student body, and many other things. So now that you know a little more about me and my role in the school, I want to cast my vision and share my goal with you for this year. If you're unaware, the senior class comes up with a class slogan every year. Ours this year is Together United. Personally, this idea has popped up in my life a lot this past year. I believe that if something continually pops up in your life throughout the year or through your whole life, it means something. It means to take action. This past year has definitely not been ideal, and there's been many changes throughout the country and this school that resulted in a greater separation, mostly on a physical level. So though we may be physically distanced, we still have the opportunity to grow spiritually together. So my ultimate goal as the female chaplain is to do life together. I have 4 ways or ideas that I want to do this with you guys. I want to work with all of you, specifically the girls, to realize that your faith does look different. I understand that being in the Christian bubble doesn't make you a Christian or that you have it all together, but it does mean that every person is at a different stage. They're not less valuable or more important. However, to build this unity, we have to develop humility. We have to be willing and open to talk to each other. And we have to be willing to grow together and to pick each other up. So to build this trust in each other, we have to establish connections and create relationships. So to put this into action, I want to help to revamp a program that we had here in my first few years in the Collegiate Academy. It was called the Little Sister, Big Sister program. For those of you who were not here or do not remember, this was a program that connected the girls with the student body. It was a way to get to know people that you necessarily would not talk to. We can call it whatever you want, but I want to work to build it up on COVID precautions and any other modifications that are needed. With every grade confined to their own halls, I see this as a great opportunity to connect girls with girls and other grades and build a bond of unity. If you can't tell, I have a huge fear of public speaking. It took me a whole year to actually come up here and put myself on the line. It took boldness, but we have to be bold to make change happen. We want to be bold in our actions. I want to be that person that you can look to see that fear and so much other things are so much less when you're confident in Christ. It's not easy, but you can overcome whatever it is and fill in that blank. And lastly, I look forward to giving you a chapel. I look forward to talking with you during Bible studies. I want to share what God has done and what life is like and what he's teaching me and guiding me to share with you. I want to dive deeper than the superficial and whatever's on the surface to really talk about those topics that you want to talk about. So I believe that as your female chaplain, I will be able to lead you all through this year. I want to be someone you can approach to talk to. I want to talk about our struggles, ask all those questions, and find those answers from a biblical standpoint. Nothing is more impactful than hearing something from your peers, and it starts with you. I want to be able to do life together so that our school can act as a unified student body. Thank you, and have a great day.
Katie, if you have a fear of public speaking, you did a nice job in prepping for this because we didn't see that at all, so very nice job. And our next, again, we're working with female chaplain. Our next speaker is Jarissa Worst. So Jarissa.
Hi. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jarissa, and I'm running for female chaplain. As I was writing the speech, obviously I was nervous, but B, I had no idea what to talk about, but Mr. Wilson sent us an email giving us advice about what to write about. One of those questions was, what do you want your peers to know about you? So I'm going to share a little bit about me and my testimony because I feel like that's one of the best ways to get to know someone. Yeah, okay. Okay. I was born and raised in church. I asked for salvation at the age of 5 years old, but as I grew up, I went astray. What ended up happening was I hated church. Over the years as I grew, so did my hatred for it. I started to hate Christian music, events, and really everything about it, because growing up in a church, you get to realize that no one's perfect. So I saw the flaws of Christians rather than the perfections of Christ. I was hurt in the church as well, so it all seemed so phony to me. And I was so frustrated with the Christians because of the hypocrisy I saw in what seemed to me blind positivity. And I was frustrated with God because I was wondering how God, so perfect, could place people in a bad circumstance. I ended up gaining depression, insecurity, and suicidal thoughts. At one point, I knew that God could help me, but I also knew that I had gone so far from him and done so many things that really were not worth forgiving. And I couldn't forgive myself, so needless to say, there was a lot of conflicting feelings and emotions. At my final breaking point on a Wednesday, I told God, either you fix everything or I'm done. I went to church that night and everything changed for me. Now, my circumstances didn't change, my depression wasn't completely gone, but what had changed for me was feeling God's love. Regardless about what I knew about Christians, church, religion, and regardless of all of that and my frustrations, knowing that there was a God who truly cared about me had changed everything. You may be asking why I told you all of that, so here's why. My goal as female chaplain is to encourage the idea that God's love for us is endless, boundless, and perfect. My hope is that instead of pushing Jesus down your throat, that the love of Christ would shine through me and many other Christians here, and would inspire you to start a relationship with Christ. I do have some practical ideas, though, so here they are. I'll only talk about a few of them because we'll be here for hours if I talk about all of them. But one idea that I have is a prayer box. This would be in the student services, and it could be anonymous, of course, but you could write prayer requests, praise reports, really anything to pray about. I would be checking that box weekly and continually praying over it. Another idea I have is an all-student chapel. What this would mean is instead of bringing in a speaker, we could do student devotions, share their testimonies, speak if felt led to, of course, or even a game to create some type of community for students. The last idea I have would be for a theme of the week. This would include announcements. Every day in announcements, we have a verse of the day. Basically, the theme of the week would mean that at the beginning of the week, Monday, we would talk about the theme, for example, God's plans. Then the verses for the next few days would go along with that theme. Those are just a few of the ideas I have, but I just want to say this before closing. Whether I become spiritual chaplain or not, I want to say that I am always open to talking, praying, or things to that nature. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jerissa. It's really nice to know that you live that change in your life. I have Jerissa in First Bell, and believe me, she's a pleasure to have in class. Our next speaker is Rachel Castine. Rachel is our incumbent as female chaplain, meaning she already holds the office. So, Rachel, the mic is yours.
Hi guys, my name is Rachel and I am rerunning for female chaplain this year, like Mr. Wilson said. First off, I just want to say student government is not something to take lightly. I know a lot of people kind of joke around with it, but it's not something to take lightly. Last year as a team, we accomplished a whole lot of successes, even though the year was cut short. We helped buy a TV for the lunchroom. We organized school activities such as Spike It Up, Hoop It Up, Miss GCA, and the Holly Dazzle, and we had a planned school activity sports day, but it was canceled because of COVID, which included a home baseball game, a home softball game, and a home track meet, when we were planning a food truck, pep rally, and spirit week. This said, we know what we are doing, and having someone experienced in student government will just lead to more improvement and privileges for you all. One of my personal goals as female chaplain is to help share and encourage the spread of love. I don't know about y'all, but I personally just love love. And that is exactly what I hope to bring to the table this year. This school, in my opinion, should be filled with love. John 13:34-35 says, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. As Christians, we should be first in line to show people love, no matter who they are or what they have done to you. Last year in my speech, I tried to spice it up a little bit, and I quoted Michael Jackson. This year, I decided to share one of my personal favorite quotes that I tried to apply to my own life from the very own Mother Teresa. She said, "Let us always meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love." As your female chaplain, I hope to be a light and example to everyone. With the help of you all, I am going to work on shutting down the negativity throughout the student body and strive for more inclusion, kindness, and overall love in GCA. Thanks.
Grab that mask, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. Those are good words. Those are good goals. Those are good objectives. And I kind of like Mother Teresa over Michael Jackson, to tell you the truth. And now we're going to shift gears. We're now moving to the people that are going to manage your money for you. So we're talking about the position of treasurer. And Paige, you are our first up for treasurer.
All right, hey guys, my name is Paige Boyd, and I am a senior here at GCA. I want to be considered for your student government treasurer because I believe I can truly represent the entire student body here at GCA. Last year, the SGA was dominated by mainly male athletes. That is not a true representation of our entire student body. They did a good job, however, I do not believe they truly represented the needs and wants of all GCA students. We are not all athletes. We are talented actors, artists, and singers, much like myself, students with a wide variety of different gifts and talents. Not only do I participate at GCA in athletics, I am also involved in choir as well as the art program. I even have a sister who is a thespian. I will act as a voice for all students. The student government should be a reflection of the student body. This is why I believe I can bring balance to student government. I would like to focus more of the budget on arts and theater programs that get put on the back burner too often. I want to be a reflection of all of us, and I want to listen to your concerns and have an open mind to everyone in the student body, so we can truly be together united.
Thank you, Paige. Well spoken. And continuing with treasurer, we now have Madeline Nojek. So Madeline, it's all yours.
Hey Gators, many of you know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Madeline Nojek, and I'm a senior this year running for the treasury position. I'm interested in history, politics, law, and government. I have a strong background in working. I've been a manager at my job for months. I have money management in the bag. Many of you probably have seen the yellow flyers around the school with the light bulbs on them. My life verse is John 1:5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. I believe that this verse really applies to GCA this year. The year 2020 has been a complete roller coaster with school closing. While thankfully we are all at school together, there are ways we can improve. With the loss of the traditional back-to-school bash, homecoming, senior work days, and many more events, they're now in jeopardy, and it can feel like a pretty dark year. Now is the time for GCA and SGA to step up and make sure this year is memorable for everyone. I'm here to take the ideas of the student body, not just the seniors, everybody, and do the best that I can to make the funds work. Whether it be new after-school activities, ways students can have fellowship with each other, or social distance ways we can support our sports teams, I want to listen to your voices. I promise to convey your ideas to the council and do all I can to let the entirety of GCA be involved. I hope that I, along with the student government, can be the light in the darkness of 2020. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline. And now we move over to secretary. Now we have an incumbent who, like Grayson, is running unopposed. And when James asked me, should I make a speech to the student body, and it was like, of course you should, all right? And he did not hesitate, and James was a valuable member of the SGA last year, and I'm looking forward to what he has to say. So James?
Hey everyone, my name is James McGrady. I'm obviously a senior here at GCA, and I've been here since I was a freshman. So last year I served on student government as secretary, and I'm obviously going to be secretary again this year. Together with the other members of student government, we were able to accomplish some great things in only the second year of student government and working with a shortened year. Our team last year was able to bring in the biggest TV possible, and our plans this year are even bigger. Last year's accomplishment benefited the school and have set the stage for our future successes. This year obviously looks a lot different than anything we have ever been a part of, and being unified as a whole school is more important than ever. One way student government can begin to bring everyone together is having representatives from the younger grades. This would allow the lower grades to have their opinions heard directly and be involved with the student government and the upperclassmen in the SGA. A special election could easily allow a younger member from the grades to sit in on the SGA meetings and have their input directly heard. They could be assigned to one of the student government members and have a mentor so that they can understand what is involved in being behind the scenes with the student government. Another way we can make this year a great place and improve our school spirit is to add on to everyone's favorite event throughout the year, Activity Day, where we compete in the battle of the classes usually. This year, my plan is to try to make a year-long battle of the classes. These events don't have to just be sports related. They can easily encompass all the other aspects of our school. This year, the winner of each battle of the classes can take home the Spirit Shield. The Spirit Shield will then be passed along throughout the year to the next winner of the classes. The Spirit Shield will rival the Spirit Stick, and if the class is lucky enough to win the Spirit Shield and the Spirit Stick, they will obviously embody the best school spirit they will be the school or the class with the best school spirit. Most importantly, I want to work with all of you and the rest of the staff to make this year the best we can, even though we are going to be challenged. Thank you.
James, one thing that stands out about your words, it's easy if you're the incumbent and you have no opponent to not spend much time thinking about things. But if you listen to what James said, this is what this student government is about. It brings ideas to the table and then makes it happen. The next slate of candidates, the two for vice president, this has been fun to watch because they've been going head to head for about a week and a half here with buttons and signs and whatever. But it's a pleasure to first introduce Jacob Hodges. And Jacob, as vice president, it's all yours.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just gonna move this. That's not mine. Hello, my name is Jacob Hodges, and I'm running for student body vice president this year. And I want to cut straight to the chase. You all are probably expecting me to get up here and make a bunch of promises that I eventually won't keep. However, that's not me. I don't believe in empty promises. There are only two promises that I will make, and they are promises that I can and will keep. First, as a senior, I want to make this year one for the books. One that we can remember, and not only for me and the seniors, but for everyone here at school. And so from my first promise to you, if I get elected, is I will do everything in my power as vice president to make this year a year that isn't remembered for being the year that we had to wear masks to school and be socially distanced, but is remembered as one of the most fun years of school you've ever had. And my second promise goes hand in hand with the first one. I promise that if I'm elected, I will dedicate myself to you all by listening to all of the ideas that you might have for this school. You know, I haven't been here as long as some of you. Some of you have been here for quite a while. So I might not see the school's needs as well as some of you might. However, in my time here, I have grown more and more in love with this school and the people who are a part of it. And I want to be a representative for all of you so that we can leave a mark on the school that will benefit us and all of the students who will come through GCA in the future. And I know COVID has and will continue to make this year different than what we are used to. But I don't want to focus on all the can'ts this year. I want to focus on the cans. And as you can tell, I will have no issue seeing over this challenge, every challenge, and I'll be able to look over the horizon and see our future. If there is one thing that growing up in a military family has taught me, it is to be flexible and adaptable to any situation. So I will adapt to any challenge that comes my way, and I will work flexibly with you and my fellow student government members to make this year amazing. So let's make this year one to remember, and let's overcome adversity together. Thank you for your time. Go Gators.
Thank you, Jacob. And Alex is coming up. I'm sorry, Alex. Forgive me. I work so much with his brother, it's like a reoccurring nightmare. I can't get him out of my mind. But Caleb's our next speaker, and Caleb's a fighter. He really is. And just something, as I said, Jacob, as vice president, come up and speak, and Alex, under his breath, whispered to me, candidate. Caleb, forgive me. Caleb whispered, candidate. He's a Weisinger. But in all seriousness, Caleb has taken this seriously. He's looking forward to talking with you today. And Caleb, please come up.
Good morning, Gators. My name is Caleb Weisinger. This is my 13th year at GCA, and I'm a junior, and I'm running for the vice president of the SGA. Now, I'm not running for vice president just to say that I have been in the SGA because I don't gain anything from that. I'm running because I want to make my school a better place for everyone. Not everyone just currently here, but also the Gators that are going to come after you and me, because I want my changes to be around for them to enjoy and not just us. I have been here for a very long time, and I have absolutely fallen in love with GCA, and it would be a great honor to help make it a better place. Over the past week, I have visited classes of grades 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, introducing myself, my campaign, my ideas, and also getting ideas from you, the students. And I would like to thank all the teachers for giving me a portion of their class time over the past week to connect with their students. Everyone wants to make tiny changes, but the changes I'll propose will be long-term changes that will be around for the long haul. I have many great ideas to make GCA the best it has ever been. A few of these ideas are starting an in-school GCA store with a lot of cool stuff for students and maybe even teachers to rock around the school. Raising money for a brand new bell in the bell tower outside. Raising money to create the ultimate student section for football, basketball, and baseball games, and all sports. Dollar T-shirt Fridays in replacement of Dollar Jeans Days as a Dominican Republic fundraiser. A spike ball tournament, and of course, vending machines. While there are many other great ideas that I have, these are just a few that I decided to share with you today. But none of these awesome ideas can become reality if you don't vote for me for vice president. You should vote for me because I will listen to any and all of you and your suggestions, and will work for you to make sure you have the best possible time at GCA. Your high school years are years that you'll remember for the rest of your life, so vote for Caleb Weisinger to make these years the best of your life. Thank you all for listening. Now go vote for Caleb Weisinger, and go Gators.
Nice job, Caleb. Appreciate it. And now the top of the ticket, president. All right, and our first speaker, and she's always a pleasure to be with on the announcement team, and that's Kendall. And she does our verse of the day. And Kendall, come and share your ideas.
Hello everybody, my name is Kendall Taylor and I am running to be your next student body president. For those of you who don't know me, I've been going to this school for an extremely long time, and I have a pretty good understanding of the events that have come and gone through GCA and what the student body likes and dislikes. Now, this year has been different than any other. With everything 2020 has thrown to us, school is probably the last thing on your mind. It doesn't have to be that way though. Under my presidency, I will try my hardest to make GCA as enjoyable as it can be during these difficult times. Some corona-friendly things I would like to implement to make school more enjoyable this year is to put a party per season. For example, a tentative tailgate in the fall, a Christmas movie night in the winter, picnic in the spring, and I'll bring back the end of the year luau. I'll try my hardest to bring back the art extravaganza so we can have a night that is fully dedicated to our art students instead of just an art walk. I'll try my best to make a costume day that just happens to be around October 31st, and we'll create an alternative to the Dollar Jeans Day, hopefully a Dollar Sweatpants Day, but either way, we'll have a day to relax the dress code. And we'll create 2 new counterparts to the 7th and 8th grade Holly Dazzle Christmas celebration, one for the 9th and 10th grade, and one for the 11th and 12th graders. And in addition, there will also be a 7th and 8th grade formal in the spring. And I'll also put into power a middle school ambassador who will ensure that the SGA as upperclassmen are connected to our 7th and 8th graders. These are just a few ideas that I have in mind, and of course I'll be in tune with my fellow students to make sure that every student has an equal opportunity to be heard. Whether you're here for sports, theater, academics, or you just want to scrape by and receive your diploma at the end of the day, make sure your opinions and ideas don't go unnoticed. There will also be a suggestion box that will be checked weekly, and we'll make sure there's an open dialogue between the SGA and our fellow students. I promise I'll put the energy that I should be putting into understanding math, into making school better for everyone. So vote for Kendall Taylor for every student. Thank you.
Nicely done, Kendall, very nicely done. And our incumbent president needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway, Parker Clark.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Parker Clark, and I am rerunning for president this year. As most of you may know, I was president this past year. I would just like to start today by thanking all of you for the opportunity to serve as your student body president this past year. I consider it an honor to be your president and an honor to have the opportunity to serve you. I always want to leave things better than I found them, and I want GCA to be a better place for years to come. I believe I have unfinished business that was cut short because of COVID-19, and I believe I'm the best person to finish that business this year. Today I want to talk about what we accomplished last year and prove to you that I will get things done as your president. First of all, as the SGA, we hosted many events like Spike It Up, a volleyball tournament, Hoop It Up, a 3v3 basketball tournament, and the Holly Dazzle, our annual Christmas event, where at this event we got an entire day of doing fun activities instead of having to sit through a long academic school day. Second, we were on track to have the first Spring Pep Rally and Spirit Week in a long time before COVID shut our school down. At this event, we plan to have a baseball game and softball game catered by Moe's. Third of all, as most of you all have seen, there's a giant 80-inch TV in the cafeteria. This project was created by the SGA, and within a week, the TV was up and ready to go thanks to our awesome staff here at GCA. Fourth, I promise you that your voices will be heard by me and administration, and I promise to keep working on those vending machines. These are just some of the things we accomplished this past year as a team. I could talk to all of you today about my ideas for this upcoming year, but that would only express ideas I have in mind. This year, I want to hear from you. As I mentioned last week, our emails are always open, and we would love to hear from you guys. I will fight for your ideas and do everything possible to make them come true. I look forward to being your president again this year. Thank you, and go Gators.
Thank you, Parker, and all candidates. You just did a terrific job. You really did. Coach Gregory, we're right on the line. Are we going to have the 7 through 10 vote in the classroom? Okay, so what we're going to do, juniors and seniors, we're going to sit tight here. The 7th through 10th graders will vote in their second bell classroom. Now, the question came up this morning, why are you not going back to your, why would you have gone back to your second bell if we had time, which we don't? And that's because there are other students in the class, if you went back to your second bell, your third bell when we finish, boy, if I could get the marbles out of my mouth, I could talk. Try again. If we went to our third bell class rather than our second, there would be students in there during second. So juniors and seniors, what we're going to do, we're going to go, when the bell rings, we're going to go to our third bell class. We'll take just a few minutes and very quickly vote at the beginning of our third bell. So I just want to, again, thank all of the candidates, the hard work that you've put into this. I'm going to tell you, it's tough when you have to sit down and check the ballot because you have 11 students up here and you got 11 really good ideas. So thank all of you for being here, and thank you guys. Nice job.